Hi everybody, and we are back in October again. Last year in October, I started in October last year with the Statue of Liberty video where I spoke about Statue of Liberty and things that connected with it on a much brighter side of the equation than what you currently see online. I invite you to take a look. And again, we now in October, it's been a year. October is very connected with Statue of Liberty month of the year because for one, on the 28th of October, Statue of Liberty was dedicated. Let's see. Yep, 28th of October 1886, and on October 15th it marks the anniversary of when US President Calvin declares the Statue of Liberty as a national monument on October 15th, 1924. In 1 year we touch on a couple important topics. From the beginning I try not to waste your time about several topics and making multiple videos. I really put focus into digging right straight into the point. What point about our creation, where we at, and what we need to know to make sure that it's on the good, not anything other. And so in 1 year we touch on the point where we discover signs of the creation that came out from the book series The Reading Cedars of Russia. And I touch base on the fact that the lady Anastasia that spoke information to Vladimir Megre, the one that wrote the books, she is, as she say, reincarnated sister of Jesus. So my feeling was that Bible was written by man, for the most part, mostly man, and there is this things that we as humans miss for the 2025 years, that Jesus' sister decided to come here and manifest into new life in this time to bring us the key points of this creation, the things that we've been missing out, so that we have all the puzzles in order to move forward and be the light. So that you can find in digging to discover an amazing truth. We got several videos on this topic about the science. We learned about the other team that is against our humans and that are putting efforts 24/7 to do things against us. It's more than just a virus. They are very organized, and those are reincarnated ones that was cast out from heaven during the war, and they are here, and they wanted to prove to God that humans are not worthy to bow down to them or to serve them, and they go out of their way to implement their tactics against us. And we touch on how system works against us humans in the series The Basics of How Systems Can Work Against Humans. It is a little bit over technical, I'm sorry for that, but it's what it takes if you want to learn. We learned about geyser called Black Diamond Pool out of Yellowstone, Montana. The fact that it is an accurate energy meter device on our planet, and it is showing imbalances in the energy on our planet through eruptions. For example, the biggest eruption happened on July 23rd, 2024, the day before Benjamin Netanyahu spoke before a joint session in the US Congress on Wednesday, July 24th, 2024. And a smaller eruption of that black diamond pool happened on January 3rd, 2025, prior to Los Angeles getting on fire on January 7th, 2025. I brought the examples to show you that energy reflect, for example, through this black diamond pool ahead of events. Events follow, so the energy state would come out as an eruption of that black diamond pool, for example, and then it would be followed up by the negative events. In the event of Netanyahu speaking in the Congress, we know what followed after that. In the event of January 3rd, 2025, we also know what followed after that. This year it has erupted 8 times so far, that black diamond pool. To give you an example, it did not erupt once between April 2016 and May 2024. Which I connect with the fact that the Lion of Judah was here present on the planet, and he in essence was the light of the world. Just like back in the day, 2025 years plus, Jesus was here, the light of the world. When I say the light of the world, I mean the major light of the world. The most of you know nothing about Lion of Judah because virus did a lot of effort to prevent you from knowing anything about it. That's where I'm stepping in, and I will be filling that gap continuously. I got the rest of my life for that. John was energetically at work not only during the day as Jesus recommended, but also during the night, because the necessity of that light and balancing the energy scale was on such a high that he would go to that extent for several years. And the choices that he would make in his life against the things that he wanted to do, but because for the one that sent him, it's a sacrifice that he chose to take. For some of you that, like I said, don't even know anything about it, which I hope to express that topic broadly. It was important to prevent catastrophes on our planet because just like in the previous example, when the balances of energy on the planet Earth goes off the scale, it is followed with the catastrophes on our planet, or wars starting, or earthquakes starting, or airquakes, or soundquakes. All of those are connected and tied in with the energy. We learn about some tactics of the other team that is continuously working against us 24/7 so that we can become better warriors in everyday life simply by knowing the game and the players and the tactics. It just gives you extra advantage in the game you play or in the life you live. Game, it would be a wrong word because we're in a very serious place here, but it can be used in the comparison, for example, with the video game, but I would stick with life. That would be more accurate. So it seems that the very simple truth that Jesus left for us is hard to understand for most. To be the light, we need to be energetically at work for the one who sent me here. working while the sun shines. When night falls, the working day is over. For as long as I am in the world, there is plenty of light. I am the world's light, Jesus said. And after he say that, he also say when they was on the mountain, he say, "You are the light of the world," in Matthew 5:14, meaning his followers are meant to be a visible example of his teachings and love, bringing truth and goodness to others, rather than hiding their faith. This light is not their own power, but the divine light of God working through them, dispelling darkness and glorifying the Father in heaven through their good deeds and moral excellence. So what does this remind you from the simple math, logical math in school? On one hand, Jesus say, "I am the world's light, for as long as I am in the world, there is plenty of light." On another hand, he is saying, "You are the world's light." So that, is it clicking? Okay, I'm not going to comment on this. I'm sure it is clicking. And city on the hill cannot be hid. It's another verse from Bible, Matthew 5:14-16, meaning that God's energy that you allow to go through you will be seen in nature by everyone as the light in the city on the hill. And we show you many times how that light or energy, another way of saying, is reflected in the area where that light or energy is present and allowed to go through you, but through your body, in the form of chemical chemtrails pushed away, or brighter, sunnier day, or thunderstorms going away or coming down. It is working in that scientific way, so that it is important that we now grasp on the fact that when Jesus talked about light, it meant energy. I spent the entire year so that we get to this point, and I will explain in a few moments why. So it feels that there is a force standing in the way against people grasping on this important truth. I call it a virus, as I mentioned before. Some people call it Satan. It is working against love, joy, and truth 24/7. And now I'm going to step away. On this year 2025, there was this Burning Man event in the desert of Nevada, and I called to their radio station to share in a very minimalistic way this truth that I'm sharing with you. I try to summarize it all about the energy and deliver, because I knew there's almost 100,000 people at the Burning Man, and they are open-minded, and a lot of them would grasp on my message. Well, first of all, during the time I shared that on the radio, it felt like they got a red light right in the studio, because the Russian guy is under live now, so we're gonna go on the break. So please listen to the recording. I did it for you, so that you see what I was trying to say.
You've reached 1-888 Lab Dust, the home of BMIR 94.5 FM, the voice of the man.
I think we have another caller. If you can say hello, I make sure I got you
Hi.
on the air. Hi. Hi.
Hi,
How
my
are
name
you?
is Mikhail, but playa nickname is Fast Tiger. From Russia.
Tiger?
Yeah. There was times I would wear t-shirt with a big tiger, but I noticed that a lot of people doing that, so it's not very unique. It just came up.
I think you're unique.
I have a story. It's based on a, of course, true reality story. I've been to Burning Man 7 times, and in the beginning, first years, I didn't really uh, fall into the category of being a giver. I would just find the cheapest way to get there and run around, just enjoy my time as much as possible. And then one day I was at the Opulent Temple. I don't remember Opulent Camp, and
Opulent
I don't.
Temple,
Yeah, I don't remember what year that was, but my bucket of love was filled all the way to the top, to where I start crying from being happy. And I look around. It was a beautiful sunrise, and people dancing with umbrellas with each other. Some girl jumped on me and we start kissing and rolling on the stage that was next to it. So it was just overwhelming. I had to get to around the DJ stage to get myself together. But the bucket of love was filled, and so from that point, I had a wish that we all just crying from being happy outside in a default world, and that wish was strong. I say to myself and to universe that I would like to participate if there is a chance to fulfill or get closer extra step to this wish. So that default world is like that. And then magic happened. I completely forgot about that wish. But in the default world, I met someone special that a lot of you know by the movie The Wolf of the Wall Street, John. And he was on his last main chapter of his life, which was about 7 years between two total solar eclipses, 2016 and 2017 to 2022. Yeah. And so I got opportunity working with him to do exactly that. And here's the science behind the things. I'm going to get straight to the point. So that bucket of love, we all have that bucket of love. And Burning Man, it's a joy city that allows other people to fill in your bucket of love. And when it's filled, then you're ready to be giving rather than taking.
Right.
And the thing that happens with the Burning Man and how a lot of us came out and changed the default world in today's day is amazing, with all the original Burning Mans and stuff. But it gets deeper. It gets deeper than that. So I find out that we are man. Man is a power station to maintain the creation. You know how the video game, if you unplug it from the wall, there's no longer a video game? Well, in this reality where we're at, there has to be a power coming from somewhere, and it turned out that when man feels love provoked by woman, or by reading scripture, or by something else, man emits the energy, and that energy is sent, and in less than a split second comes back to the planet Earth and gives life to everything living on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
Everything living on the planet. And so,
amazing.
In this chemistry, the big part plays that feeling love or joy that man feels, and then some chemistry coming. Actually, you're gonna be surprised, but we're in Burning Man, so we can share things like this. So, in business world, they say grow your balls. There's a reason behind it. It doesn't matter if your balls are big. If they are empty, it makes no sense. There's not going to be enough chemistry going.
Absolutely.
But
you know what we call it in my family? We call it filling up your love tank, don't we, Jamie?
All right, yeah. So
we used to say
the
that
love
as a
tank,
baby,
I love
filling up
that
your
term.
tank makes you a better person.
Right. Especially, well, it's connected between brain ability, mind ability, and the love tank. There's a very strong connection. So when women provoke that love and our love tank is filled, then there's a lot of that energy going out and coming back.
Absolutely.
And
Caller, we're going to have to go to a break now. It is that time in the set. So I really appreciate you calling in.
Can I have just 30 seconds?
You can have 15.
Okay. So there's a tree. It's called Renin Cedar of Russia. God designed it that way so that when we don't give that energy out as a power station, as responsible kids, then this heater collects all that energy, and in the dark times, just like between those total solar eclipses, it gives that energy back to people. So currently we are using this reality where we're at as we're driving the car without the generator. We're just running on the battery. That's why Jesus said it's a dead end. So the reading heater is a big key part, but we want to get back to this feel mode of love or joy and stay in it and protect it.
Well,
and that's
I can't disagree with you there. I cannot disagree with you there. We definitely need to stay in love and stay in joy and keep laughing because we need it so much.
I started a YouTube channel. It's called For Enlightening the World for those that would like to learn more. Please join and check it out. Thank you.
All right. I really appreciate you calling in today. Thank you so much.
My heart's been pumping crazy every time. Every second of this time.
All right,
Thank
we're going to go to a little break here. Thanks for calling in. This is Action Girl, live on BMIR.org.
Thank you.
If you're listening at home. And 95 here on the airwaves in Black Rock City. Good morning.
And then sadly, right the next day, on Saturday 30th, there was a incident, first time in the history of Burning Man. A Russian man was killed.
Investigators have now identified the homicide victim, who was found dead lying in a pool of blood at the Burning Man festival just over the weekend. Authorities say the body of 37-year-old Vadim Kruglov was discovered in a campsite right when the festival's iconic giant wooden effigy was being set on fire. We're told he was a Russian national who was living in Washington state.
I did some research about it. It was Vadim Kruglov. I find out he brought an amazing art to the playa. I'm not explaining the terms of the playa or this or that because you can do your own research about the Burning Man if you wanted to dig a little bit deeper. But playa, it's just a place where a lot of artistic people bringing some arts for people, other people to see and to grasp on and to share with. And Vadim, he brought such an amazing puzzle to what I was doing, because there is plenty of truth on the table, but because of that virus, it's very difficult to deliver. It's almost like there are filters on our ears, and we cannot grasp on how simple that is. But his art was this. This is the photo right from the playa, where in the background you see the black square. On the black square there is a heart, and out of that heart there are some rays of light coming out. The significance of that sign is to add to that concept that we learned about from digging the truth about the energy. So if we're looking at that black square, if we do not choose to emit the energy of the heart on the light level, on the positive level, on love, joy, or truth, on the higher realms, emotions, then we have that dark square. That energy is not, it's dark, it's not light. So when Jesus talks about light, it's that light of our heart that man emits, and in less than a split second it's get reflected from the planets, including the sun, which reflecting only partial energy of man collectively on our planet, and it comes back to the planet. It gives life to everything living on the planet. So when Jesus say we have to be energetically at work for the one that sent me, for my Father, he meant that we have to decide to be in the mindset and to be in the heart set of love, joy, truth, and other higher realms, the ones that can ascend. Because the dark, malicious feelings, when man feels malicious feelings, those cannot ascend. Those represent that square behind, that black dark square. And so if we voluntarily do not make a decision to emit the light, there is a darkness. And to me, what the art of Vadim did, it in the very best way translated Immaculate Heart of Mariam that a lot of you did not grasp on. And it is very easy to understand. Sadly, the night of August 30th on Saturday, Vadim was killed at the Burning Man event. But I wanted to mention here that there are times when even that somebody take our life, we still winning. And I'm coming out as a brother in Christ because my brother is the one that do deeds of God. So I can call Vadim my brother. I'm coming out to point it out what an important piece of puzzle he brought for all of us to grasp on. And I hope that his relatives and the rest of us pick up on what he was trying to say and what God wanted to say through him, so that we get it and we run with it. And we are living in a time when more truth is coming out. The other team is working overtime to blend that truth with false information. For example, that man can be pregnant or happy without some parts of himself. Before Jesus left the planet Earth 2025 years ago, he said to his disciples, he said, I still have many things to tell you, but you cannot bear them now. Or another way of saying, you cannot handle them now. Your mind is not ready for what I have to tell you. At John 16:12. So Jesus pointed out that there is more to tell. And I come to find out the time to tell more truth has come, especially after September 23rd, 2017, when woman clothed with the sun, Revelation 12, one sign came out in the constellation of the stars. And so shortly after that, in 1st of July 2019, there was a Pond of Truth set up in Russia, and I did talk about it a little bit as an introduction shortly after Statue of Liberty video, where I mentioned how the attributes of the Statue of Liberty and the star that it was on make me think about the two organizations on our planet. First of which was Summit Lighthouse out of America, Montana. By the way, the same state where that Black Diamond Pool is. And another one is Cassiopeia, which was formed on July 1st, 2019. And from Cassiopeia themselves, there's a few words I would like to read. When many people are actively searching for answers to deep life questions, our mission is to provide them with a reliable source for self-discovery and personal growth. Our educational activities are based on truth, which is transmitted through Irina Podzorova, the contactee. She transmits new information and making it understandable to us. Our main practical goal is to create conditions conducive to raising the collective level of awareness and cultural development of society on our planet. Another way of saying they dedicate their lives to raise awareness and collective level on our planet into a greater or better one. And here's the example from Jesus himself from online interview. But before I say parts of this interview for you, from Cassiopeia, which came out in the video number 817. So you can clearly see there is a lot of information on that Cassiopeia center that's coming out. And my sheep hear my voice, and I know them, and they follow me. That's from the scripture. So today, how would you feel if Jesus called you on your phone? You're just like, oh, Jesus. So like, would you just answer and talk to him? If you think about it, then a lot of you would not know how to be. Well, for one, as I already mentioned, more truth coming onto the table. Ever since Jesus left the planet Earth 2025 years ago, he left in his body, and we find out from Cassiopeia, through Irina Podzorova transmission of Jesus' words himself, that he's been living in his same body ever since he left the planet Earth for this last 2025 years, plus the years he spent on Earth. He's still in his physical body, and he is living now on a different planet called Burhat. I'm not going to get into this very deeply. I'm just giving you very highlights of this new information that's coming out, that in Russia people has been aware for 5 years, and it's just like knocking on your door here in America and the rest of the English-speaking world. And I'm feeling blessed to, maybe without knowing just yet, but a lot of you would feel connected, because as I just mentioned, from the Jesus words himself, my sheep hear my voice, and I know them, and they follow me. So that when you hear from Jesus, you would easily recognize if it's really Jesus or not. Your heart will tell you that. And so now I wanted to put a recording. It was a translated video from Cassiopeia, again number 817. It caught my attention because it felt that Jesus speaking directly to my heart about several points and topics that I've been battling in my own life, and the things that I was trying to cope with as far as how I'm gonna deliver. There's so much information, and it's such a new information that a lot of you go in a mode of restricting that information, staying away from it, protecting yourself from it, in spite of the fact that Jesus himself say that I would want to tell you more to his disciples. And it was not a time back then, but now it is time, because we did make some leap jump in our minds on some levels. We still have ways to go, but the point here is, as I mentioned, you can recognize Jesus' words with your heart. So you not necessarily need to say, no, I don't want to listen to it, or no, I don't want to come across it, when I'm telling you that Jesus for all this time been living on the planet Burhat ever since he left our planet Earth 2025 years ago. So it gives a very extra huge perspective to grasp on. And another one, that in our galaxy itself there's over 700 planets with life on it. This is very new information, but again, it is not new information in Russia, where for last 5 years there was a water hose of truth coming from this pond called Cassiopeia, And a lot of people open up their hearts, and a lot of people start emitting that light that Jesus was talking about when he encouraged us to be energetically at work every single day. And that is making a shift. It is a very positive shift. However, I want to quickly recap on the energy part. So what we find out this year is man, when feels love or joy, emits the energy. That energy in less than a split second gets reflected by the planets and coming back to the planet Earth and gives life to everything on the planet Earth. When man feels malicious feelings, that energy would be connected with that dark square on the Vadim's art. That energy cannot ascend. It will go into the ground. And that would be related to fear energy broadcasted, or envy, or grief, the hard ones. Those cannot ascend, so those gonna go into the ground. There is a place on the continent of America, Yellowstone, where some parts of manifested energy is cooking in that large volcano. So we got that. And then there is a tree called the reading cedars of Russia that God designed so that when there is a lack of this light energy on our planet, God knew that we would get to those times or periods on our planet that we would run into the lack of it, because we would forget about the maintenance of the importance of the maintenance of that hard energy, and the fact that we are responsible being in this creation to emit that energy so that things are the good. So God designed this the reading cedar of Russia, which for 550 years collects this energy, stores within itself as a battery on the vehicle, for example. And when humanity runs into the time period when there is a lack of that energy, there's a couple steps that can be made to harvest that energy out of that reading cedar. It wouldn't just give it itself back. You would have to cut the tree, cut it into small pieces, give it to people, and people from there would have to follow just a few simple steps. One of which is, for example, to feel exactly that range of energy, for example, in the morning with the sunrise, with that little necklace from the reading cedar, thinking of good memories, which in essence aid into the collective of the energy on our planet. So then, if there is a disbalance of that energy, and there's more malicious feelings that man produce, we have situation where, for one, this energetic meter will erupt, telling us about it, and for two, it can manifest into very negative situations as earthquakes, airquakes, sunquakes, because it's all related to the energy. So again, back to energetically at work. When John was here, he was energetically at work not only during the day but during the night. And because of it, there was no consequences on the levels that we harvesting now. The Black Diamond Pool did not erupt. I took over the duty because John was taken by God, and as a student, I am continuously energetically at work. But I cannot do it myself. As I mentioned, this year alone, we got 8 eruptions of that Black Diamond Pool, and recent one this Sunday on the 28th of September. And exactly on those days, the world is talking about going against Russia, going into war and all that crap. So I wanted you to grasp on this connection, energy and events of the world, energy and events of the world, so that we, like a thermostat, we setting our hearts, we choose by decision, we choose ahead of time before you step out from the house. We choose to be energetically at work of the higher realm energies, because it adds to the light that reflected back to the planet and gives life to everything on it. If we don't do this, if we're gonna go with the rate that it's happening now, and this balance is gonna go off even more, the catastrophe on our planet is inevitable. And Jesus mentioned that the only sign will be given to us is the sign of Jonah. Well, if our hearts don't emit that light energy, that black square, remember, that was on Vadim art, there is a darkness. So there will be doomsday. You see where I'm getting with it? So we are responsible to bring that doomsday about if we allow circumstances to manipulate us to fall and stay in the fear, grief, and some of the other hard level energies. Thank you.